We're going to start things off with a cocktail. We've got very handsome Benny from Tuxedo Bar.
You don't have a waiter, do you?
Hold my hands, Maddie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought you might like that.
Are you the first one getting the cocktail?
What is this?
Straight for you, Chrissy Mark.
My pleasure.
Smells
Divine.
delicious.
Thanks, Benny.
I'm talking about the drink, that
He smells pretty good too, actually.
is. Cheers.
Wait a second, Nicole gets extra chocolate.
Oh,
and
what
dessert queen. Gets
Cheers,
dessert.
girls.
You know I like it sweet.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
being
Cheers.
here.
Cheers. Everyone's so delicately cheesy.
I know.
No one wants coffee on them,
That's
do
a
they?
coffee
Stand
martini.
like a bitch. Cheers,
In
Johnny.
the eyes.
And you know what's interesting? Because I lived so much time in China, I learned that if you go above people, with the Chinese, it's all about respect.
Oh.
So you all just chinked above me, which
Okay.
means
So over the head.
no, you've got to go low.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good to know.
So who goes on top? Is it
I don't know, Maddie. Whoever you want to go on top, Maddie.
Who's the bottom? Who's the top?
when you
Should we
cheers?
start?
In this relationship? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
We
you for
are
having
massive
me.
fans of the show and of each of you. What can we expect from you guys from the reunion?
From me, what you see is what you get. At reunion, what you see is what you get.
Great.
Reunion was about making some of the girls accountable for what they have said and how they have behaved. And I think it was a great opportunity for us to level the playing field, basically. And I think that throughout the series, we've seen the way certain girls have behaved on camera and also behind the camera. And not when I say behind the camera, behind our backs,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
And I think it was quite
In master
confronting.
interviews.
Yeah, and I think throughout the series, some of the girls were really behaving one way and then acting a completely different way in the Masters. And I think that that's what the reunion's going to show.
Great.
I mean, there's a scene where Lisa Oldfield is just attacking me, and she continuously attacked me the whole season. After she said she wouldn't go.
But you never knew.
Yeah.
I never knew. I had no idea about it.
'Cause
And
it's
she was
never
pretending
one-on-one.
to be nice and smiley to my face and then completely going for it behind my back.
that would be
And you know
hard.
what? Behaviour like that I think is unacceptable.
Yeah.
If you've got a problem with me, say it to my face. But don't be nice to my face and do that behind my back because the trust is then gone.
So do you think there were some issues resolved in the reunion? Did you,
Oh.
Maddie? What do you think?
Some issues were resolved, some not. I think the main thing about reunion is through the series, as Nicole mentioned, there are issues discussed, and sometimes you watch the master interviews of people, and I think it's completely unfair what was said through the show. So reunion is a time, obviously, for all of us to exhale what was said. But
Yeah.
there were some issues resolved, but unfortunately, I think it's one of those things like a merry-go-round. We go through it, and sometimes things can't get resolved.
Yeah.
We go back, and you're back at the starting point again.
I think the problem too for me, it was that keyboard warrior. That those master interviews allowed these women to get away with so much and say so many hurtful
They
things.
never say it to your face.
Never say it to your face unless they were absolutely tanked.
Yeah.
So that for me was quite confronting when you're
high on
watching it.
endo.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever else, hillbilly heroin.
Agreed. What do you guys think was the hardest part about filming the series?
Hair and makeup.
Of
Continually.
course. Of course.
Pulling of the hair.
Actually, I never
and
thought about that,
makeup.
especially
Oh
the
my
master
God.
shots. Oh my
I
god.
mean, I am in the beauty industry, so looking good is part of it. But I
Yeah.
think that the continuous of tanning, getting your nails done,
my
hair,
God.
makeup.
I never thought
is
about
one
that.
Thing. But another thing is sometimes watching yourself, and I think in
my
the
God.
last episode,
We
I
hadn't
get
seen
really
any.
angry. And watching yourself angry for me was a
That would
really
be-
hard
that
thing
would be
because
hard.
normally if you're angry, you have a fight with someone. No one films you, you don't see it. Hopefully,
Of
no one
course.
filmed me in the
Yeah.
past. Michael, don't get any idea. But don't get any idea. But reality is when you watch yourself, you sometimes go, oh, can't. And sometimes you just wish you didn't react to situation. But at the end of the day, we are real people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they go Real Housewives of Sydney, it's not so much some people go, do you cook and clean? It's about a real human being with real feelings,
Exactly.
with going through emotions and expressing it.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. There are things said that we get sad about it, we get upset about it, the things that we're happy about. So pretty much so that's what it is.
What I found very difficult was the fact that you would go to a lunch or you'd go to a meeting of some sort and it was out of your control. And I found that the hardest, like to relinquish the control of what was actually going to happen and
In a
take
public
place.
sphere, yeah.
In a public sphere, especially when Athena attacked me at the
Fine.
Vine.
Oh
I
my
mean, she rings
God.
me, tells me she wants to meet up about our charity,
Yeah.
and then literally for I mean, it went on for so much
When your
longer.
neck was really.
Yeah.
When I get
0 to
nervous,
100.
and I literally walked into a war zone.
Yeah.
And I felt that, you know, I had no control of that. So I think that was the hardest thing, was to relinquish the control and also learning to just sit there and bite your tongue.
Yeah.
And you can't
Props
just
to
get
you
up
there.
and walk
You
out.
can't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're filming a show.
Yeah.
You
I
cannot
remember
get
walking
up.
out of that scene and I was so angry, and I just said, you know what, I said to the producers, I hope you've got enough.
Yeah.
I said, ordinarily I would have got up after 5 minutes
Yeah.
of this. I've given you half an hour, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And I walked
You were
out.
so gracious.
And then the producer turned around and said to me, oh, but we need to get you walking out. So can you just come back and we can
I
walk
know.
out shots? I said, no, you've got enough.
Actually,
Okay.
that's one thing I have to say. Is one thing that we do have to repeat at times is walking in and out. The
Okay,
rest
so
of it
there's
is still-
those like holding shots, yeah.
Sometimes we have to walk into an event a few times, and that sometimes can be
Yeah,
exhausting.
because they get your shoes for one
Yeah.
scene and then they get your
Yeah,
handbags
high,
for one.
this and
and-
You never
that,
think of
so-
this stuff. That is
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
inside
But then
scoop.
when you're in there, you're in there.
Yeah.
So the filming begins.
Just cool.
Yeah, and once you're mic'd, you're mic'd.
Yes.
Exactly.
Just
It's
remember
all
that.
on
Gina learned
record.
that
She learned
when she
that
was in the toilet.
Oh my god.
I know. Why did she
Yeah,
unplug?
when
I
she
mean,
dropped
going
the
to toilet, there's a
SIBA.
lot of dangerous noises can come out of someone.
bet.
Forget about what comes out of your mouth. The other
Oh my
noises.
God.
I don't know about you,
Anyone
Maddie.
else?
Too much information for my liking.
Sorry,
That
I'm a
is
nurse by trade.
If you had to pick one moment in the show, what do you think would be the most shocking moment for each of you? That really, wow, I can't believe this is happening type of thing.
I think the last episode for me, when I get really angry and I just storm off, that was one.
Couldn't take it anymore.
No, I just couldn't take it anymore. I had enough and I had to walk out because
Yeah.
it just started. And you know, I am patient to a certain extent, but when I get angry, it's gone.
It's
like
There's a
that's
line.
it for me.
Yeah.
That's
Fully
it for me.
Fully
Fully
booked.
angry, fully. Like I see red and that's it. It's hard for me to get 0 to 100. Takes a bit of time.
Okay.
But when I'm at 100,
Bam.
be
That's
very
it.
careful. Put the knives away. Put the guns away. The Persian in me comes out. So be careful.
What about you, Nicole?
I'd have to say, I think it was that famous scene from the show with the diamond screaming. I
Talk to
think
my
that
Irene.
by the time that Athena and I had gotten to that point, I think Athena was about to explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that to see that side of a woman is you know, is not nice.
No.
And it's funny because I went home that night and I couldn't sleep. I was just tossing and turning because I just felt sick in the stomach about what had transpired that evening. And I think that, you know, watching it back now, it's funny because, you know, like doing the show, I was so concerned about what my mother, my husband, my
course,
children,
yeah.
like they were the people that I was answerable to.
Yeah.
So I literally
Yeah.
went home and I was like, oh my God, my
Yeah.
mom is going to kill me. and you know, like, so I remember watching the scene with my mum a few weeks before it aired. And saying, Mum, this is it, you know, I'm just warning you. And she watched it and she goes, you know what? I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
And,
Props
But
to
that's
you.
good for
and
you.
you know, like she was like, you stood up for yourself.
Yeah.
Love
and
it.
so
Yeah.
in the end, it wasn't too bad. But I remember just thinking the consequences of
Yeah.
what my
Yeah.
family were going to say
Yeah.
about that.
I think when you
Understandable.
got young children, that's one part of it.
Yeah.
Because my
Yeah, of
children young
course.
as well. Because you think, what are my children
Yeah.
going to
They don't watch it.
What? No.
No.
Well, some of the episodes they have watched, some of them
My
they
kids haven't.
don't.
Fast forwarding a few
But
seconds.
no, I mean, but really, sometimes parents as well, because my mother watches, and I try to explain some of these
context.
translated to a Persian
Yeah.
wog mother what happened. So I'm dreading episode 11, people. I have to tell my mother what was said and why I reacted and why I left, and she'd be just looking at me.
Mine was the napkin.
Oh, the napkin.
Napkin gate.
Napkin gate hashtag.
I tell you what, napkin gate, when that flew across my face, that for me, and that whole scene, that whole, everything that transpired, because, you know, we have a business in Singapore, so for me, I'm thinking all these people that are walking behind us, I hope they don't know who we are.
God.
And then next thing you know, you know, normally I would run out and grab my friends, but I did run out and grab Victoria. I put
Yeah.
her in the car and I drove her straight back to the hotel, and she's like, I want to go here. I'm like, no, you're not. We're going home. Nicole ended up arriving. We all sat on the bed. We got room service. And, you know, that for me was, you left in shock. We were all in shock.
I have to say that episode that day, I actually felt very sorry for
I felt
Athena
sick.
as well. I really did. I mean, I just saw, and that napkin hit her. I heard it, and
Me and my mum
I think for
screamed
her
on the
main
couch.
thing
That
was
was-
about
I've
her
never seen anything
business.
like it.
I think
Yeah.
about her business, and I think the way that auction began with Joe Bailey,
my
I
God,
didn't
of course.
appreciate it. Sending that Lizzie Botra was one thing, but the way he started the auction was really inappropriate. And I have to say, if he said that about my business, I'll be very disappointed. Because
course.
at the end of the day, as an auctioneer, honor, for a charity, you have the responsibility to raise the most amount of money, and that day I really felt bad for Latino, I have to say.
Yeah. Well, there's been lots of shocking moments.
Yes, that's one of them.
But we're going to get some questions for each of you. Matty, first of all,
What?
you're up first.
Oh my God, okay.
No, this is actually a really fun question. So at Cosmo, we're really about empowering women and giving them the opportunity to be like, you know, the best, fun, fearless female that they can be. So as a business owner, you obviously have a hugely successful business and it seems to be going from strength to strength. What would your advice be to any of our viewers who want to get into their own business or a bit afraid to take the lead? Do you have any advice?
One of the things that I'm going to say in life, one of the best things to do is to do a job you really love. Because if you do what you love, you never work a day. And second thing, you really need to understand your profit and your cost. Because what happens with most business owners, they see the money coming, but they don't actually understand the cost. You really need to have a good idea that when you go in this room, whether it's a cappuccino you're selling, from your cup to the coffee you're making, to the money that you're paying your waiter, how much is each one of them costing you. Once you understand your bottom dollar and your profit coming in, you're set. The biggest problem business owners, and especially small business do, and that's why they say the first year they fail, then the third year they fail. They don't understand the difference between the money coming and the profit and the cost. That is something you need to always be on top of your business, especially small businesses. Look at the money coming, look at the money going, understand where your money comes, where it goes. Every single day, you need to have your finger on the pulse of your business. For a small business, as it grows, then obviously you can have, but you always got to be on top.
And sometimes growing a business isn't necessarily more profitable.
Definitely.
I mean, some of my most profitable years in my business was when we're actually smaller and things were more controlled.
That is very true.
And then people think, oh no, it's great to grow, get more staff, and that's not always the case.
No, your expenses increase and your profit might not necessarily increase.
Exactly, and having HR is a big problem. Like the more staff you got, the more costs you got, and especially in Australia, annual leave, this, that. So tax, it's just superannuation. It goes on and on.
Being accountable for everything. Every little bit of the
be on
business.
top.
So if you have a small business, you make money. It's better to stick to that than exactly as Chrissy said, expand.
But also go for it as well. I think that's the biggest thing is, I started my business when Billy was 8 weeks old, my first child. Wow. And, people say, oh, what a crazy time to start a business. But I think, you've got to really back yourself. And I think if you know that you're a good worker, you're a hard worker, then you're going to do well. So go for it.
And work ethic is really important. Get up, go to work, never give up. It's got up and down. Life is full of up and down.
And find the paths.
Stay to work.
Yeah, find the paths that suit you.
Great advice.
Love it. Now one for you, Chrissy.
Yes.
So in no uncertain terms, you had to deal with quite a lot of bullying on the show, verbally, at the hands of Lisa Oldfield. I'm just wondering what sort of advice you would have to our viewers who have to deal with that in their everyday life. And I like to think you took quite a mature approach to dealing with it. Like you didn't really buy into it. You kind of stood your ground and remained poised.
And that's what everyone said. How did you do that? And I think for me, I know where I come from. I know my background. I know my family. I know my husband. I know the person I am. And I think if anyone else, it's their behaviour. It's not a reflection on you. And so I think if anyone does bully you, especially online, I mean, we've had a lot of bullying, all of us, during this Housewives show. Not so much, I've had no bullying from outside the Housewives, only from inside. And I think you've really got to just be strong, believe in yourself, and don't read it. Rise above it, continue your own life, and really don't engage in it, because in engaging it brings you down to that level. And I think what's so important is don't reduce yourself to that. And that's what I very much took that stand, is we are so polar opposites in terms of our moral compasses. So don't lower yourself to that. And it is very hard for young girls. I had, my niece was very badly bullied. And I think you've always got to speak to someone about it. Don't share the problem on your own. I mean, I had an amazing husband that I'd come home every night and chat to. I've got my beautiful family, my mother. And I think for...
Good network of friends.
Yeah, and look, children can't, not even children, but teenagers can't be dealing with this alone. Speak to someone. Adults are bullied in the workplace. There's all different types of bullying, and it is such a public forum now. Just speak to someone and reach out. And know that it's not your behaviour, it's theirs.
Good one.
Nicole, I'm going to read my question off the cards because I'm getting lost in your eyes. You
She
have
does. She's got the most beautiful eyes.
heaven.
Beauty
Anyway,
queen
so
eyes.
this is quite an impressive list of accolades. So you've got a Bachelor of Commerce, a Miss Universe crown, a hugely successful events company, and 2 gorgeous children. Josh and I like to think...
Why didn't I get that question? Oh my
To be
gosh.
fair, it could be put to everyone.
Oh, I just got that bullying.
Not quite the Miss Universe crown, but the Mrs. Australia.
Miss Australia, my
Yeah.
apologies. So yeah, Josh and I often think that you kind of all have it all. But what would be your best advice to sort of, how do you enjoy success? How do you measure success? How can you kind of have that balance? Because it is hard to sort of have it all. People say that you can never really have it all, but what would be your...
And what does it look like to you?
You know what? I'm a very driven girl. I always have been, and so I was never brought up to rely either on a man or to rely on my family. For me, you know, my success comes from me, and for me, being successful is being happy and learning to appreciate what I have around me. And I think that really fell into place for me 7 years ago when we lost my father. He was a huge influence on my life and on the life of my family. And he passed away at 63.
Wow.
And he left an incredible legacy behind. Chrissy knew him. And he lived a full life. And he lived a life the way he wanted to. And so when he passed away, although it was very soon, you know, people said he lived the life he wanted to.
No regrets.
Yeah, there was no regrets. And I think that's the way that path that I've chosen to live my life. So as much as I'm a mother and absolutely adore my children and my life is devoted to them, as well as my husband, there's so much more that I want from life and that I want to get. And so it's not, success and happiness for me is not measured by my handbags and my shoes.
Yeah.
And, although they all help, but I do love them all, so you know.
Are we talking about your children or your bag?
Yeah.
We can put the
Birkin always
children in the
helps.
bag.
Yeah, work can always
To
help.
clarify, success looks fabulous.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. And
Especially with the Birkin.
yeah. And it's
Success
funny,
with
it
the
just
Birkin.
recently I was in Hawaii with my husband and my children, and you know, we stay in a great hotel, and you know, all of that was fantastic. But the time that I remember and take away from that, and I asked the girls on the plane on the way home, you know, what was the best part of the trip? And it was sitting on the beach, all of us, with our feet buried in the sand, and having a discussion about, you know, silly things about surfing and about the fish, and you know, just talking about, you know, just life with the four of us sitting there, talking about whether we like living in London or Sydney or, you know, like all those, you know, just a general conversation.
Okay, guys, can I do one question for you both?
Fire away.
Okay, if you had to come back as a housewife, who would you come back as? Any housewife. It
Well, you
doesn't
have to
be
come back
just
as
Sydney.
her ex because she's the only one coming back.
If I had to come back. Oh, can I actually say?
Yeah.
Oh, this is really awkward because she's right next to me. I would say Chrissy.
Yay!
Because I'll tell you why.
You're dead to me.
First of all, look how short
tell
I
you
am.
why.
Look how tall and fabulous she is.
You should be me.
Like,
Because
and,
we're the same height.
and I really respect that you're such a straight talker because I'm not enough. So I wish I can. That needs to rub
Aw,
off
that's
onto
sweet.
me.
Yeah.
And what about you, love?
Come on.
Come on.
Okay,
Oh, look.
don't kill me, Maddie. But I
That's
can say
all right,
Nicole.
Nicole.
Josh is obsessed with Nicole.
Just to have it all, you know, the perfect family, the perfect life,
Oh,
the
I
business,
love
you know, morals.
Camera, well, I don't have morals, bitch. Camera, guys, anyone want to come back as me? Anyone?
Maddie, we love you. You're our Persian firecracker.
Yeah, she
You're
is.
like sassy.
I
sassy.
don't
Maddie, I
talk to
can't come
me.
back and see you're too busy. You're booked out and busy.
You want to be lady of leisure. Who wants to be working as
Guys, you know what? I've got to go. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're all
I'm fully
gonna go.
booked as
You're
well.
fully booked.
Okay, come on, Maddie. You're fully booked. Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Bye.